Welcome back. It is Friday, May 17th in the NBA. My best bets are on the way as we have Game 6 of the Indiana Pacers versus New York Knicks. My Knicks trying to send home the Pacers. It's going to be a doozy of a game, but my best bets are on the way. Without further ado, my name's Austin, but let's recap how we did yesterday. A 1-1 day, and man, I am frustrated because it should have been a 2-0 day. We had Naz Reid's over in points, which honestly should have been sweat-free, but he made us sweat a little bit as he could not buy a bucket. Then Anthony Edwards over in points. If it's not a 50-point game, he easily goes over. What do you have, 19 in the first half, ended with 27? Painful. It's kind of been the story of our NBA playoffs, but we got two more picks incoming, and we're going to dive into those in one moment. Now, yesterday I did say I would give away $50 to one person that was subscribed and commented down below a bad beat. And here's the winner, and then I'll share some of my favorite bad beats. Well, not favorite, but the ones I read in the comments that were painful. It was from this person, Man Surmosa 2819. I commented back to his comment. So if that's you, he said his worst bad beat, Bam got a steal by picking up the ball when Jokic dropped it at the end of the clock and he had the under. I remember that one. Jokic came to right past half court, put the ball down, and Bam just ran up and took the ball and got a steal for that with a second left. Painful. Now, some of my worst bad beats that I read in the comments, I'll share these before we dive into the picks. Some of these rung a bell. This person, Iron Eddie 1120, lost Pat Mahomes rushing prop on late game kneel downs. Man, I remember he did that a couple times, but most notably in the Super Bowl a few years back. That one's painful. Another one, one of the worst beats was our Markkanen pick. This is exact comment. I remember that one. I would categorize that as one of the worst bad beats this year. Markkanen, took his under in points, hit the over with 20 seconds left. And that was on a garbage time shot, last shot of the game. He also played all 24 minutes in the second half. And wouldn't you know, that was Markkanen's final game of the season because he was injured after that because they ran him into the ground. No reason to play him all 24 minutes in the second half. That's how we went over. And then this other one really brought back some tragic memories. Steve Bonnick, 6484. How was the answer not Harrison Barnes on day 9 last year? Now, I don't think he was day 9. That was in the Bills-Bengals game. I think Harrison was day 6 or something like that. I went back and found the exact game. Harrison Barnes scored his 8th point with about 4:40 left on the clock in the third quarter. He could not get his 10. He ran cardio in the fourth. We even got lucky with OT. Didn't even touch the ball. Just painful. Harrison got attacked on social media that day. Painful. Sorry, Harrison. You are hated in the community for a long, long time. But you guys came for some NBA picks. Those are just some of my favorite bad beats that you guys shared yesterday. If you want to go back to yesterday's video, there were some really tragic ones in the comments. But y'all came here for some NBA picks. We're diving into the first one. And we're going to start with a rebound prop, something I don't do a lot of, and this guy needs to grab some boards tonight. It's Miles Turner. Over 6.5 rebounds, minus 130 on ESPN Bet. Now, I would play this about minus 150, honestly. 7.5, if the line goes up there, I don't love that as much. You're asking for a whole other rebound, which is a pretty big, percentage increase. But I think he grabs 7 boards tonight. I haven't considered sprinkling on his double-double because I do think he scores 10. If you have to take 12 points, you can do that too if you want to reduce the juice. Now, Pacers, obviously, coming back home, they lost Game 5 by 30 points. Now, there was a bunch of different things that I could point out and say, hey, this is exactly why they lost. But when you lose by 30, there's going to be more than just one thing that goes wrong. And clearly one of those went wrong. Well, it was on the defensive glass. They gave up a ton of offensive rebounds. Isaiah Hartenstein, he had 12 by himself, 12 offensive rebounds. The Knicks had 20 as a team. They attempted 29 more shots than the Pacers and had 26 second chance points. Now, obviously, you could shoot better, which the Pacers didn't shoot well in Game 5. You could look at other different things. But it honestly came down to effort. On the offensive glass, the Knicks outworked them, and that's why they smoked the Pacers. And while I'm not a rocket scientist, Turner's got to be much better. And I would imagine over the last 2 days or so, someone's better be in Miles Turner's ear saying, yo, we need you to box out Hartenstein and grab some defensive boards and close out defensive possessions. Simple as that. We saw in this series, Turner's at 2, 7, 10, 5, and 5 rebounds. So it's under in 2 straight. Last series has a much better hit rate, 8, 7, 9, 9, 5, and 5 rebounds. This is a different matchup and a more difficult matchup at grabbing boards than the matchup against the Bucks. But it's still a matchup that Turner's out there. He's 7 feet tall. He needs to grab some boards and close out some possessions. On the season, we look at Turner. He's averaging a little around 7 rebounds per game, which is what we need, in 27 minutes. Obviously, he's playing a little bit more nowadays. He's over this line, though. In 12 of 14 home games, when he plays 30 or more minutes, his 2 misses, he saw 6 on the dot. So really close to that line. While it's not an easy matchup for the Knicks by any stretch of the imagination, Knicks have been a really difficult team that's very stingy against rebounds to opposing centers. I think at the end of the day, Turner has to go out there and grab some boards. He needs to box out Isaiah Hartenstein. And if he's not grabbing the defensive boards, but he's boxing out, whatever, I'll live with it. But outside of him, there's not a lot of other great rebounders on the Pacers. Siakam will get his, but Halliburton's not grabbing a lot. Nembhard either. Neesmith is guarding Brunson. So at the end of the day, Turner, again, averaged 12.9 rebound chances in the regular season. He hauled in 54% of those into rebounds. This postseason, he's down to 46% in this series. I think we see an uptick. Could grab some offensive boards too. Look, at the end of the day, he's 7 feet tall. I need him to grab a rebound for how each feet that he's tall. 7 grabs for a 7-footer. Should be pretty simple. I don't take a lot of rebounds props, but I really like this one. Over 6.5, minus 130. A little juicy, but I'll certainly take that. I'd play it to minus 150. If you have to take it and reduce some juice there, like I said, I think he scores 10, 12 points. Probably scores more than that, but I think that's pretty safe for him. Now, my second pick is going to go to an over. We're going to go to another role player like we did yesterday with Naz Reid. Very similar role for this guy, Obi Toppin, over 8.5 points, minus 125 on Fanatics. Now, a couple books are at 8.5. It's all minus 130 on FanDuel, minus 135 on ESPN Bet, and minus 145 on DraftKings. I was close to just taking the 10 points because I do like it at 9.5. That was plus 115. So if you're chasing some plus value, you can go there. I like the 8.5 here, though, for Obi Toppin. Now, in this series, Obi's been up and down in some games, and he's coming off a down game. We've seen so far he scored 12 and 20, then 2, 14, and 7 points. After that 20-point game, the Knicks made some great adjustments, slowed him down to 2 points in that game 3. Then he bounced back. And last game, didn't play well, but you see the field goal attempts, 7, 10, 4, 11, and 5. In game 5, not a great game, 7 points. 2 of 5 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3. Did go 3 for 3 from the free throw line, but he was a minus 25 plus minus in 21 minutes. Not only was Obi bad, his whole second unit was bad. TJ McConnell stunk. Ben Shepherd stunk. And when your team's losing by 30, not going to be a lot of good guys with good plus minuses. There wasn't like, oh, this unit was terrible. Pretty much the whole team was terrible. And I expect Obi to play a little bit better. He's a high energy guy at home, and you need those guys in big games. We saw in game 6 of that Bucks series. Closeout game, Obi, big game. TJ McConnell, big game. Second unit's going to be needed here to step up. And look, at the end of the day, the Pacers just got outworked in game 5. I expect them to be better, and I expect Obi Toppin to be better as well. We saw back in game 3, only 4 field goal attempts. Next game, Obi was like, you know what, didn't play well, bounce back, play a lot better in that game. In the Bucks series, like I said, Toppin scored 4 points in game 1, but then was over in the rest of the games. 9, 15, 13, 12, and 21. I'm projecting closer to 15 to 23-ish minutes. 5 or more field goal attempts. So when he does both those two things, he's probably in for a 64% hit rate at home. I love trusting a role player, high energy like Obi Toppin. Expect him to shoot better. What was he, 0 for 2 from 3 last game? Wide open threes. I think he plays better. The Pacers need to get running in transition. And if they're running in transition, the best guy that they really have is Obi Toppin for those lob dunks, those easy cuts to the rim where he can lay it in and do his thing. That's what Obi Toppin's great at. So my 2 picks of the day, not going to get too cute. Obi Toppin's over in points. Miles Turner's over in rebounds is my 2 picks of the day. If you wanted me to talk about the Knicks side of the equation, I leaned Dante DiVincenzo, the big ragu, over in points, but 16.5, obviously low for him. He can hit that easily. I just don't want to trust any Knicks guys on the road. I looked at Miles McBride's under in points. We just took his over. He went off. I expect the Pacers to make some adjustments to that, but I'm just going to stick to these 2. I don't want to force 3 picks into a game here. It's obviously a big game 6. All I ask is that this game is a little bit competitive. If I had to bet a spread, it would be the Pacers, but I'm not touching a spread here. I just want a competitive game. I want Toppin to grab some points, and I want Turner to grab some boards. Simple as that. Those are my favorite picks of the day. Let me know you guys' favorite picks down below. Let's have a wonderful Friday. Let's have a 2-0 day. We certainly are due one of those. Yesterday should have been 2-0, but couldn't have any luck to go our way. If this game's close, I think it's because these 2 guys are doing their job. So 2-0 will be great to enter the weekend. Let me know your favorite picks down below. As always, if you ever want to sign up for any sportsbook deposit matches or offers and things of that nature, all those details are down below. A ton of different cool offers to match your first deposit or things of that nature. So y'all have a great Friday. I'll see you guys back tomorrow where I forget which game is going to be on. I think that's a Mavs Thunder game 6. I think game 7, Denver Nuggets series is on Sunday. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how the schedule works out. But see you guys tomorrow with some more picks. It's Austin signing out. Peace.